Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. What I'm going to talk about is what it takes to do a restoration. I know we have a lot of videos and we do little 5-minute to 15-minute segments, but when you do a restoration, like this Triumph I did, the motor, top end, everything, align everything, you need to take everything apart, everything, every nut, screw off the machine to work on it. And then you have to, after you do that, you have to go in and clean everything and inspect every nut and screw, make sure it's not messed up. And it's little things like I have a video on how to fix the tension on the end gate. These are things you need to look at. On this Triumph, I talked about this bearing here and how this was not, how this tip here need to be remachined and fixed at 60 degrees because it had a worn out piece. And these are the things that take a long time to do. And it's all of this. It's all the little details. And if you don't get it really clean, you don't get the stuff out of the inner gears and stuff, it's not going to run well. This motor here and all this top end took roughly 50 hours to do in a restoration. And it started out like this long case home here. So we look at this long case home and we go, okay, we have to clean the rust up. We have to clean all this up. This is bad. The gear trains are nice. So now we look at the motor and we go, if I turn this gear right here, why isn't the rest of the gear train moving? When I'm doing this, the rest of the gear train moving because of this brass pinion in here.
It's not moving.
It's not moving. So if you see this, that should be this pinion should be driving this gear. So if you go like that, but these things are pressed on. They shouldn't slide over like that. It's a little gear, it's pressed on. Now the question is, if the motor ate this 120-year-old gear and it's brass, did it eat the second pinion here also? And then you have to say, okay, we hope that the drive wheel, because they're pot metal, isn't warped. The felts look good in speed control. The governor looks good. Now comes the spring. If you grab this, it shouldn't do this. It shouldn't walk away like that. It shouldn't. So now you're thinking, okay, my spider sense is up. I have to look at the spring closely. I hope somebody hadn't put that spring in backwards and tried to run it, and then it messes up the center of the spring or whatever. Just pay attention to detail, and there's a lot of detail work on these, and it can cost you a lot of money. You get into a phonograph motor, any phonograph, reproducer, tone arm, you go, oh, that's wonderful. Well, how much is a reproducer? How much is a tone arm? You can buy a machine, say $150, and you could put $500 or more just in the motor to get it running because it had broken springs. You know, that's what I'm trying to point out with the videos. We love doing these. And there's one other thing. Like on Edison's, you take the old belt, like this one, and this one was sewn in from the factory, but when I got it, it was doing this. Also, this belt is...
What was it doing?
It had come unsewn right here. So you take the belt and you give it a pull and they come apart. Anytime you redo an Edison, you give the belt. Now you watch, the belt doesn't stretch because this belt, the original belt here, has been coated lightly with oil over years and years and years of running. So if you take a new belt, like this, so now watch my fingers, these are supposed to stretch because this stretch helps lock it down on the pulley to drive the machine. And these are just little details that you have to look at in rebuilding. I do enjoy rebuilding them. Sometimes they're a head scratcher and a lot of work, like a Triumph is a lot of work to do. I hope you enjoyed this, and that's my tip for the day.